Hello everybody. I was just sat here on this very wet day thinking of something I can make, and I've decided to play with my Lavish Laces design package, and I absolutely love this green silk fabric that I got in the kit, the Christmas kit. It's just beautiful. And I thought, that's the sort of thing I want to see all the time. So I'm going to make a little standing pouch out of it. I've got a couple of standing pouches that I've made, and I don't want to hide this fabric away. It's just lovely. So what I've done is I've just cut some pieces. I don't even know what they measure. So that one is 10 inches by about 5 3/4, and I've cut 2 of those out, and I've just pinned it to some wadding or batting, and it's a cotton batting. I would prefer a wool batting, but I grabbed the cotton first, so I'm going to work with that. I've also cut a strip which is 2 1/4 inches. I don't know how long this is. Approximately 24 inches, because that's doubled, and that's going to be my sides and my base, and I've got some wadding there as well for that, but I'll put that to the side at the moment. And what I thought might be nice is just collaging. I've got a couple of pieces on my desk here that were left from the last project that I did, that beautiful doily that I had. That would be nice. So what I might do is just flip it like that. There we go. And grabbing some things out of my design package here. I've got that little piece left there. I've got beautiful laces in here. That one might be a bit too white, but there's another one in here. That one is a slightly more vintage white tone. I've got, there's some more doilies here as well that I could, hang on, that I could use. I've got this gorgeous antique piece. Isn't that just gorgeous? I love that. Let's see. Okay. It might clash. Those two I think would clash with the green a little bit. So we'll pop those back in there. That beautiful piece. There's this one which is a little bit more yellowy, but it matches the background quite nicely. We may be able to use that as well. I've got this lovely delicate scallop lace that might be nice. It doesn't have to go that way. It could go that way actually. That might look quite nice. A piece of that. But I love this. Isn't it beautiful? It's got a bit squished in there. I could use some of that on there as well, which I think would be ever so pretty. I could cut a piece of it out because it's beautiful. So beautiful. Should I do that? I think I've got another one of these somewhere as well. There's also a heavier one here, which is this one. What's this? Oh, I've also got that as well. There's a piece of that. There's also this creamy colour one, which is lovely, which may show up just a little bit more than the scalloped one, because the scalloped one's quite light, but this one has a more, that's really pretty, isn't it? That one, I could use something like that. And then I've got this. I dug out a different pair of scissors. the last one. That's an end piece, that, so let's just pop that off. There. So that could go somewhere like that. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe like that. Maybe like that there. It's a bit heavier. But then I might not be able to use that now because that one's quite heavy, but that's okay. I will keep that for something else. I also have this piece of fabric. Which is really pretty, isn't it? I'm just wondering whether it might be a little bit too shiny to go on it, but I don't think so. I think the contrast might be quite nice. I don't know. It's quite nice though. Just a little bit though, perhaps not all of it. Maybe like that. I think that's quite nice. So let me just have a look here. Okay, so like that. I can cut that now. Right, I quite like that. Like that for one side. Okay. I think that has to go like that. Okay, so what will we do on the flip side of it? I move it over. I think I will blanket stitch around the edge of this as well. So I just want to leave a little bit of a border around there. Right, let me just swap places with that. Okay, so maybe for the other side, something like that. What else have we got? I feel like that's on a bit of an angle. I might want another piece of this, just so it corresponds a little bit. Doesn't have to be, well actually the pattern is you can have it cut out in different areas. I do want one of these drops. Let's see what we can get from here. Have a look. I hope you've all been keeping well. It's been quite wet the last few days here. So how's that? Hang on. I wonder if we could. That's the last little bit of this one I've got, and I really like that. I really do. So I think that will work quite nicely. Let me just straighten this up a little bit. Is that straight? Seems alright. Like that, perhaps. Yeah, whoops. Sticking to my fingers. Okay. Perhaps I'll bring that way a bit. More like that. Good. And that. So that doily needs cutting to size. Like that. That looks nice. Yeah. Just like that. I think that will work quite nicely. Okay, you might need to just put a couple of pins in there to hold it where I want it. There we go. Leave that one. Oh, I've got pins in other projects, so I'm back down to my little container. I've got hundreds of them somewhere. They're all in different projects. I think next year I'm going to make a priority of finishing some unfinished projects that I have, rather than starting any major projects, although there is one I want to do, I really want to do. So I will be doing one particular one, and that is the memory cloth with K3N next year. I think I want to do that, but I'm not going to make it like a large one. I'm going to do a smaller project with it. I think that'll work best for me. Along with finishing off other projects that I have started and almost finished, or some are halfway through, and get them finished, because I really don't like having unfinished projects around. It annoys me. I want them finished. So there's quite a few, I think, different projects that I've seen for next year, but I'm not going to commit to any apart from that one, because I've got something in mind for that one that I think would be nice, something useful, which is always good. Now what I'm going to do with this is invisible stitch it so everything stays in place. I thought I better use some of this lovely green fabric in a project that I can have out and visible for myself before I use it on other things. Some things you just really like. Okay, so that's those two put together. I'm just thinking to myself, so that will go like that, and that will go like that. So one side is like that, one side is like that. So let's just put that there. And the end pieces, oh, I got that. I've got other Lavish laces in my box as well. This is just the ones from the design package. I've got that, which is absolutely gorgeous. I'm just not sure if it's the right thing to be using it on. I would a thicker crochet type. Oh, just a moment. Okay, so it's the next day now. My son is visiting, so he arrived, so I had to turn everything off. But this morning, I think we were up to working out the side pieces here. I had a little rummage around, so I'm going to need 2 pieces for up the side. I'm not going to put a decorative base on it. I'll just leave it in the fabric. What I did come across was this beautiful piece of trim I have left. I thought that would look nice going down the side there. I think there's a little stain there, but that I should be able to cut that part off. But it still leaves the fabric visible as well. So I'll put that on one side. And then I have this other little lace here, which is a lovely little lace, and that is just big enough too, and that can go on the other side, so you can still see the beautiful fabric through it and the beautiful laces. So that's the sides sorted that I will put on. And I also thought, when I made my last standing pouch, and this was the Roxy's Journal of Stitchery project. I put these beautiful beads on it, and I love that. It makes me happy. Every time I see it, when I walk through my door, I see this little pouch. And this is a bigger one. It has pockets and things like that in it. But I love that, just catches the light, and it makes me so happy. So what I thought was I grabbed some beads out. I've got some lovely green ones here that I might just move the laces down a little bit. I could put a lovely piece of beading there, So if I was to just, where's my, find the pins. There's one there. So move it down just a little bit so it's not too thick around the top there. So I'm thinking maybe like about that much might work. Let me just pin that on. And I also thought to cover the top edge of it, and I'll probably just put beads on one side. Move that down like that. Beads on across the top like that. So it won't take away from anything. I'll put it on evenly. I think that just needs trimming a little bit there. But I've also got this beautiful ribbon from Lavish Laces. Like I said, she sells such a good variety over there. And this is a beautiful vintage ribbon. It's ever so pretty and soft looking. It has touches of green and then just the little pink flowers on it. It's really lovely. It's like a twill tape, and that could go over the top to disguise the top of the, bring that down a bit like that. And that goes over the top like that to disguise the green satin of the beading, and just finish the top of the pouch off really nicely. That's what I was thinking anyway. I thought that would be nice. And then even if I don't put the beads on the other side, I could still put the tape or the ribbon. So that's that one there, like that. And then we've got this one. I did have pink beads, but I don't think it needs beads on both sides. That one's a pink one, that one. I'm not sure if it needs beads on both sides. I think I'll stick to the green beads and have that being the front, and this can be the other side. But that's where I'm going. I'm thinking that will be the way I will do it. These are slightly lighter, these beads as well. The other ones are heavy. They're heavier. This, yeah. I don't think they're not glass beads, these ones, which is, sometimes it's, I don't think so. No, I think these are acrylic beads, which is good because it doesn't make them too heavy, whereas I think these ones are glass beads. So there we go. I'll need to still move this one down because I will still put that ribbon across the top of the other side, and I don't want to make it too thick, so do that. There. That can probably stay because it's plain there anyway, and that can stay because it's very thin. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead now and I think I'm going to invisible stitch everything down. Yes, that's what I'm going to do. In fact, I might just stitch everything down. I don't know whether it needs any slow stitching on it. I quite like it just the way it is, and it just needs stitching down in place. So I may as well just stitch it down rather than invisible stitch it and then stitch it, because, you know, it's just doubling the process, isn't it? So just making sure everything is as I want it. I'm wondering if that needs to come up a little bit, like that. Just seem to be a little bit low down, I think. There. That. Okay. That seems a bit better, I think. Yes. So firstly we need some thread, and I think I'm just going to use the Gutermann thread. It's a nice strong thread, but I may just double it. I'll have a look. Right. So I've left a little edge because that's where I will stitch. That's what I'm thinking. I'm wondering whether I might... Oh no, that should be all right. So, okay, let's just start. And hopefully this thread will just disappear into the laces and trims. Won't be seen at all. Just enough to hold everything nicely down without it being seen, because I think the laces will speak for themselves in this, and it would just be a lovely display of the laces as well. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll come back. So they are all stitched on now. I'll probably cut that off there. I'll just left that there. I'll probably cut it off there. I've stitched that little bit there and that one there. You can sort of see where I've stitched it all on the other side. And then I have the front piece. A bit hard to see, but there's lots of little stitches on there. And that's the other piece there. And now I want to stitch these beads to the front, and what I need to do is measure. I want to cut it about there, but before I cut it I just need to glue that stitch so that it doesn't come undone. Let me just, a little pin so I know where. just there. So I'll probably lose one of the dangles, and that's okay. What I think I'll do is just snip that like that. I'll probably lose that dangle there. A little bit of glue there, and a little bit of glue there, like that. And then I'll drag that thread into that glue, and that will stop it from unraveling on that side there. And then I'm going to just fold it over like that. Just fold the end of it over, and that's the one we want. And with this one, I'm just going to remove that little dangle. Do the same, drag that little thread over onto the glue. So it's not going to come unstuck, and just fold it over like that. The other end of this is already, it's been glued before, so I don't have to worry about that. So that's going to be fine, that won't unravel, and neither will this. And that should be the correct size to go across the top, just like that. So now I basically have to stitch this on. So like that. Right. I don't think that, I might need some clamps for this. Might be easier just to clamp this together. Like that. And stitch it, leaving about 1 centimetre or 1/2 inch, whatever you're comfortable with doing, from either edge, from this edge here and from the top edge there. Then we can pivot it up like that, and I will have to trim some off here, but I wanted it to be bigger rather than smaller, so that's what we will do. I think that should be alright. Hopefully that, yeah, that should be alright. Okay, so stitching, and then kind of put it at make a triangle. See how there's a triangle just under there? Sorry, you've been out of shot. So I've clamped along the bottom. I need to stitch to there. Then once I get there, I can pivot this so that goes around like that, and then start stitching there up to the top. So I'll be doing it in 2 different movements because this is so thick. If it was just fabric, it would be fine, you would be able to maneuver through it, but because it's so thick, I might need to back stitch there, take the needle out, come back in, and back stitch there and come up. The same on that side there as well. And also, once I've done one side, then I will have to do this side in the same way. Okay, what I might do though is just get a pen and mark the center there. There. And there, just in case I need that at some stage. Okay, I'm going to go sew the bottom, then pivot it and sew the sides on both of those, and then I'll be back. Alright, there we go, that's a bit better. So that's stitched in. Now originally I was going to do like a blanket stitch and have the seams on the outside, but because this fabric is silk, it frays a lot, and if it's going to be a pouch on my desk that I'm always going into, it's not going to last very long. So I did stitch it on the sewing machine like that. There we go. And now I'm going to do that, put the other piece in. So I need that like that. And see how the little marks I made? Now I can easily line it up like that. Looks about right, doesn't it? And like that. And do the exact same thing for this side. It is going to be quite narrow, but that's okay. It's fabric. It opens up quite easily. So I'm going to go do the same sort of thing, just stitch across the bottom there. Once I've done that, I will go like that, and I will have to bend that over like that, and then come up the side like that, just the same as I did for this. So I'll be back once I've done that. Okay, so that's done. I'll just have to trim these pieces here off, unless I want to leave them on. I could leave them on, maybe. I don't think so though. It's not going to stand because it's too narrow. So I'm just thinking. I'm not going to cut them off just yet. I may have to add another piece. Which was the front? That was the front there, wasn't it? I wasn't going to make it a zipper pouch, but maybe I could. I'll have to go away and think about what I want. But as you can see, the bottom turned out fine using that method of putting the gusset on. So I just need to work out what I'm going to do at the top, because if it's not going to stand, then I'll need like some sort of closure. Oh, hang on. Some sort of closure. But an easy kind of closure. Like it could just be a flap. And if it's going to be a flap, then the beads would have to be on the part that flaps over. Really. Oh, I have to think. Okay, I'll be back. So I might put a zipper on. I've just pinned that on, and I've taken it to the center of basically that side piece, and the same there. I'm going to stitch. See how easily this does fray when you're handling it all the time, and that's why I need to enclose the edges. I'm going to stitch that on and see how that goes before it frays away too much. Then I'll have to flip it over and stitch it to the other side. I'll be back. Okay, so one side is stitched on. Oh, and I just put a scrap that I cut off one of the ends on the end of the zipper, because I had to cut the zipper and I didn't want it coming apart. That won't really be seen. Oops, caught that. That's okay. That's going inside anyway. So now I have to attach it to here. I do need to put the zipper, I think, halfway down for this. Let's work this out. Okay, here. That. Might just clip that for a moment. It's going through quite a few layers there. I don't know if it needs to. And where's that going? Oh, I see. Like that. Okay, it needs to go like that. Like that. Okay. There. There. Okay, that should be all right. Okay. It would have been so much easier to have the zipper put on beforehand, but that's not the case. I would have attached it to the front and back piece before putting the gusset on. That would be the correct way, I think, to do it, but it didn't work out that way this time, so we'll just do what we can and hope it works. Probably would have been easier to actually hand stitch it on as well. I'll see how I go. Okay, it's just come out of the machine, so we're going to check this together and see what's happening. So, see if it is going to look all right. I hope so. I do hope so. They might need a stitch. It's got to have a lining which will help the zipper to stay in place, I'm sure, I hope. Let's have a look. Oh, there we go. That's all right. I might need to just... that's better. Well, that's all right. That's not too bad at all, is it? Nice and sturdy. And I'll have to just... these two. What am I going to do there? Do they need a stitch or something, or... oh, hang on, no, I think it's just they need to come... I can tuck those inside the lining when I put the lining on, and they'll be hidden, those little tails, but I need to keep those. So, but that looks all right, like that. Yeah, that looks better. Now, what about my beading? Am I still having the beading on there now, though? I feel like it's not the same. Like, because I didn't just want the ribbon showing like that. I mean, it wouldn't be bad. It does mean... you see, that would be too thick to put there now, which is unfortunate because I love that. So, but that can, we will use that on something else. I could, oh, what's this? I don't know whether I'd want to introduce that on there. No, I don't. I feel like it needs something over that. And I've got to stitch these beads on before I do the lining. Is that the right way? No, that's not the right way. Let me pin it. I need to pin it. I don't want to pin the two sides together. There. Sometimes things just evolve. They're not exactly how you plan them. And that's the fun part about crafting and creating. Things evolve. They end up being different. be a soft pouch instead. Oh. See, this cotton batting has clumps in it sometimes, and that's the hard part, whereas the wool batting doesn't seem to get that as much. So that will be like that. Let's have a look. Like that. Why does it look so... Right. Okay. Well, what we got there? Oh, that's just that. I can trim that part. There we go. Okay. Oh, I need to do a little bit of stitching over that edge. Oh, just as well I saw that. I'd completely forgotten. I just want to do like a little overcast stitch over here. So while I'm thinking about it, I may as well do that, for it's all enclosed in and I can't really do it. So here we go. A blanket stitch perhaps, just to finish the edge off there. So I'll go down there. I don't need to go around the bottom, maybe just that corner. Okay. So I pin that on. I'll put that on that side. Like that. I think that will look nice. And on this side, I just had a thought. In the Christmas kit there was this lovely little trim. I wonder if I could just stitch that over the top of that bit of green. I think that would look nice. That way you can still see the green and it's the perfect size. And just have it over the top of the ribbon there, like that, and have that one on that side. I think that will be nice. Yes, I like that. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. I'll just trim it a little bit bigger than what I need. There we go. They're so useful, these little ones. But first I need to stitch that ribbon on. Before I start anything else. So I will just with a sewing machine with my Gutermann thread. Oh, actually no, I should use a green thread for this one. That's a better colour. Much better. Okay, so I won't do that under camera, stitching that on. It's just going to be a running stitch along one end and then coming back the other way, being careful not to get too tangled around all these beads. And then I'll do the same here. This will probably be more like a hemming stitch rather than a running stitch because it will be noticeable otherwise, so I'll just do like a invisible hem stitch. I'll come back and show you that one. Okay, so that one is all stitched on that side now. I did swap this little ladder trim for a creamy coloured one that is also from Lavish Laces. It's exactly the same, it's just not bright white, and I think it sits better with the colours. So now I'm just going to show you how I am going to stitch this ribbon on this side. I have my thread knotted and I'm just going to do one strand of thread. I think I'll just hide the end of it and come up there. So I've hid the knot inside of this fold, and I'm taking a little bit from the pouch. Actually, we need to make sure we get it right in the end there, and a little bit from the ribbon, like that. So it's coming out of the end of the ribbon just there, and I'll take it over the edge into the pouch, up there, and into the ribbon there. Just like that. Taking it back into the pouch and coming up just on the edge of the ribbon. I can take that out now. Oh, I got myself tangled around my beads on the other side. Oh my goodness. There we go. I have to be careful and pull it through. And I'll be doing that all the way along. It's just like a hemming stitch. Bigger stitch at the back, little tiny one at the front. And catching the ribbon when I do it, tucking anything in that's hanging out. And just like that, I'll do it across the top edge and across the bottom edge as well. That's what the braid looks like, the trim on that side, and that's the other side there, all stitched on, both of the trims. And so all that's left to do now is the lining, and that will be approximately 10 inches. Okay, so 10 inches by approximately alright, we're going to put 10.5, I think. 10.5 inches by about 5.5 inches. Yeah, I won't do gussets on the lining, seeing as it's not going to be standing up now. And then just do a slight hem around it. Move that, put that there. Move that. Now for the lining, I could use the top part of this fabric, which is from the Christmas kit, if I wanted to. What does the inside look like? So, I'm kind of wondering whether I need to just tack that down a little bit. before I put the lining in, just to keep it down and not sticking up. Might actually be a good idea to do that. Then I can just stitch the lining straight to the zipper, and it doesn't have, I don't have to worry about it lying flat. Actually, that's what I might do that. It's the wrong thread. And all I'm going to do, I think, is just, it doesn't even have to be too tidily done, because it won't be seen as long as it holds. So I'll probably do a double thread for it, and trying not to come through to the other side, to the front. I just, because it's got the wadding in there, it kind of sticks up a little bit. So let's just trim that. Because I also wanted to like get those out of the way as well. So I'm just thinking, just get that in there. And they don't even have to be tiny stitches. They're just, that's going through a lot of layers, that one. Right, so I'm thinking just grab a little bit from down there and a bit from where the zipper is, and pull a little bit from down here. I can feel the fabric when I'm doing that, and even if it did come through, you'd never see it because of all the decorations there anyway. And see how that's going to make it sit nice and flat. I'm going to go around and do that around the whole opening. I think it will just make it easier to stitch the lining in as well. I'll be back once I've done that. I have stitched that all down on both sides now, and I stitched these two little bits down there as well, and I have cut a piece out 10.5 by 11 inches and folded it right sides together, and now all I have to do is stitch on the sewing machine a seam down that side and a seam down that side, and I'll come back. Those seams are done now, and I have just turned over the top edge and pressed it just to make it a little bit easier. And now I'm going to pop it into the bag like that. So this is the wrong side and the inside is the right side of the fabric. So I'm just popping it in like that, and I will line up the side, the end seams like there. And let's have a look. Just hold that in place, and the other one, this end down here, just pop that inside out for a minute. I want to get all these raw edges tucked inside as well, because they will get caught in the zipper teeth if I'm not, if you're not careful. Don't want them getting caught in the zipper teeth. So I'm just going to pop that there and pin it on like that, and then I can just place, just have a look before I put any pins in, making sure it's going to, okay, just put a couple of pins in it. And I want to keep it on this side of the stitching line as well. That way it's well away from the teeth. And I'll continue to pin this on all the way around, and then I'll come back. That is now all pinned into position, so I'm just going to start at one end. I'm using a single thread of cotton this time. I'll just go in and hide my knot underneath. There we go. And same as before, I'm just going to do like an invisible hemming stitch. It's a bit tough to get through at the beginning here because there's so many different layers here. There we go. Take that pin out there now. And trying to keep to this side of the stitching line where the zip was stitched in. And just doing, I hope oh, okay, so sorry, I was out of frame. I hid the knot under there. I've done a couple of stitches. I'm just doing the same as what I did before. A larger stitch at the back through the zipper part, and a smaller stitch at the front. And it won't be seen because where I'm doing it is hidden down there, under there. So I'm going to do that all the way around. Okay, so that is all stitched up now. I've got my lovely beads on the front with my collage of laces. I have my little bit of ribbon trim on the back there with the collage of laces. I've made a little tulip fob for my zipper pull. The zipper is a little bit wonky, but it's okay for me. I'm just going to put all my trims in there from Lavish laces, not my laces, but things like because my box that I keep everything in at the moment is getting a little bit full. Okay, so there's some seam binding there. There's some metallic ribbons there, and there's some tinsel ribbons there that I can pop in there. I can leave those in the bags, that way I know it's from this current kit. But in my box of loveliness, I made this box quite some time ago using all lovely Lavish laces things. I have, like, see this ribbon here can go in here, and that bit of trim, it's not a lace. I want this box to be for the laces, and this can be for the trims. I've got a few because I forget what I've got, but if I've got them like in different segments, it's easier for me to find them that way. So I'll know that this is all the ribbons, and then I've got my little pouch for my little scrap bits. But there's some, like, look, aren't they beautiful? See, these sorts of things that I've got, as long as they fit. And even that could go in there. That's what's left of the French applique. And then there's some laundry labels in there. What else? There's another bit of ribbon there. Look at that. Beautiful. Just the end piece of one that I've used. I mean, I need a place for all my shiny bits too, so maybe that'll be another project. Look, see, all this grosgrain ribbon. I can take the lace. The lace can come out of there, because that's not a ribbon thing, but they are, so they can go in there. This will make it so much easier to find them. Oh, beautiful velvet ribbons. See, I forgot they were in there. So this is going to be very helpful. I think that's it for ribbons. Getting quite a collection and I love it. Absolutely love it. And I do use quite a lot of it, but it just seems to go a long way, especially the kits and things. Okay, I think that's it for... Oh, see, there's another one there in a bag of laces that I didn't realise I had. And I was going to use this for Christmas, wasn't I? But it just... I didn't know it was there. There's two different ones. Look at that. There's a silver small rickrack. It needs folding a bit better than that. And a larger rickrack would be beautiful around a bauble. Oh, it would. Okay, so we've got that one there like that. I wonder if I could put those in with those metallic ribbons. I know they're in this design package. It's just that I don't want them getting damaged, these ones, because they are metallic. There we go. And that's all my Lavish Laces ribbons, and I'll be able to keep my eye on it, won't I? Put that one in there as well, because they're metallic. There we go. Oh, that's the perfect size. Look at that. And now, tuck it in. There we go. Beautiful. Oh, I'm so happy I did that. There's my lovely box. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful, lovely lace pouch made with that gorgeous green silk fabric and all the goodies from the Christmas kit, together with a little tulip fob on the end full of lovely ribbons from Lavish Laces. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed following along as I've made this. A couple of mistakes along the way, but that's okay. We're crafters. We can fix just about anything, can't we? So I'm really happy with the beads too. I do like a bit of beading. So thank you and take care, everybody. Bye.